Hello my dear students, as you can see here I have written hundreds. So yes, we are going to learn about this term today. So if I tell you about HU and DRED, so you know that it is 100. But what about if we are adding TH with it? Then it becomes like this. Out of 100, 1. Out of 100, 2. Out of 100, 3. So these are considered as hundreds. Okay, remember it's called hundreds. So each part of 100 equal parts are called your hundreds. So similarly, I'll show you one picture over here. So you can see one box. So here total 100 boxes are there, right? Now if I shade suppose one box over here like this way, now this one will become out of 100 1. Okay, and in decimal how can we write this figure? As you know, this one is out of 100, one part is shaded, right? So 1 by 100. Now in decimal how can we write this? We can write it as 0.01. Okay, so students, already we have learned about tenths. So tenth, the place value of tenth is immediate after the decimal point, right? But here in hundreds, the decimal point is your the place value will be 2 digits. Okay, after the decimal 2 digits will be there. That one is considered as hundreds. Similarly, if I shade 2 box, then it will be similar to 2 by 100, right? Now in decimal how can we write this? We can write it as 0.02. Understood my point? And students, already I have shown you that how from fraction we can get the decimal number. Okay, so let me show you again about this, like 3 by 100. Okay, so 3 by 100 means we have to divide 3 by 100. Now it is not divisible, right? So for that, as I told you, we have to put one point. After giving one point, here one 0 will be added, right? But still students, we cannot divide it because here it's 100 and here it's 30. So still we cannot divide. So that's why we need to put one more 0 after decimal. If we put one more 0 in the quotient, then here again another 0 can be added. So now it is becoming 300. So 100 3 ja 300, right? So now the remainder is 0. So now they are divisible. And students, as I told you that before point, if no number is given, then you can simply put 0. Okay, so from this fraction 3 by 10, the decimal form will be 0.02. So we can write it as 0.02. Now in online class, I already told you about one trick. That is, here you see how many zeros in 100? 2 zeros, right? So always the decimal will be placed from right hand side after 2 digit. Okay, so decimal will be put here. Okay, so here you see after decimal how many digits? 1, 2 digit. Okay, so how many zeros will be there? From right hand side you have to count and you have to put the point over there. Okay students, so we will explore some more examples, but here one thing you should understand about this: 1/10 is equal to 100 10 hundreds. Okay, 1/10 is equal to 10 hundreds. So now you can ask me how it is happening. So here see, 1/10 means what students? 1 by 10, right? Or you can write 0.1. 1 by 10 or 0.1. Okay, now let's write 10 hundreds. So 10 hundred means 10 by 100, right? Or we can write it as 0.10. 10 hundreds. So yeah, 10 hundreds. So ultimately you see 0.1 and here also it's 0.1. Students, one thing you should remember, that after point if 0 is there, that means they do not have any value. Okay, if I am writing 1 0, that means this 0 do not have any value. So this is equivalent to 0.1. Normally when we write, suppose you see this number 10, so this one is considered as 10, right students? If I put one more zero here, it will be considered as 100. But here students, after point, how many zero you add that do not have any value, okay? They do not have any value. Only the number you will write, that one will having the, that one means the value for that will be counted, okay students? So this one you remember. Now let's see some more example. So now we will use place value chart to show the number, okay? So for randomly, let's take one number, suppose 5.8, okay? 5.82, okay? 5.82. So now you see 5 is before the decimal, that means it is a whole number. So whole number will be written as here, ones place, point will be there, then 8 will be in what, 10th place, because as you know that in decimal numbers, first of all, as in a normal number system we count from ones, tens, 100 like that way, but in case of decimal it starts from 10th, okay? So in 10th place we have to write 8, and 100th place it will be 2. Understood students? In words, how can we write? We can write it as like 5.82. So this one we can write as 5 and 80 to 100. So students, like this way you can write, or you can write 5.82. So students, after point you should not read this number as 82. It will be 82, okay, because it is 8 tenth and 2 hundredths, okay? So either you can say it as 80 to hundredths, that's correct, but when you are saying that point, 5 point, then you should say it as, you should read it as 8 and 2, okay? So 5.82, or you can write 5 and 80 to hundredths, okay? 80 to hundredths, 2-digit number. Now, if we take some another example, suppose 7.05. So students, 7 is a whole number, then point, and in 10th place what is given? 0. So we have to write 0 here and here 5. So students, you see, as I told you that if we are adding 0 after decimal, it do not have any value. But here, this is also after decimal, but this 0 is very much important because it is not at last, okay? So you just carefully have to see if it is given something like 7.20, okay, 7.20. So it can be read as 7.2, okay? 0 we can neglect because it is the last number, okay students? But if it is given 7.02, then the value will be different. Here, this one, the value will be different, and this number will be different, will having different value. So students, if 0 is there at last after decimal, then they do not have value. But if 0 is not the last number, okay, here last number is what? 2. So that is why 0 is having some value over here, okay? So that's why in place value chart also we are writing 0 in the 10th place, okay students? So do not get confused about it. If the last number is not 0, they have value, but if at last zeros are there, so we can neglect that 0, okay? So I'm sure you can write in words, right, this number. Either you can write 7.05 or you can write 7 and 5 hundredths, okay students? So in this way you can write in words. Here exercise 9.2, so it's quite similar with exercise 9.1, but the thing is you have to do here, you have to shade, or you can use colors also. You can see some numbers are given, so accordingly you have to shade the part of this number. Here 2 way of decimal are written, okay? Here you see 0.29, so 2 is in 10th place, right? So 10th place means out of 10, 2. So out of 10 you see 2 part are shaded, and 9 is what? 9 hundredths. So out of 100 9 are shaded, or out of 100 29 are shaded, so that one will be 29 hundredths. Okay, so these are the two way of writing, and here it is saying that in question number 2 express using decimals. So picture is given, you have to write the decimal number for it. So you can see I have already written, it's whole, so 1, and out of 100 7, so 0.07, together it will be 1.07. Now question number 3, write the decimal in words. So already I have shown you how you have to write. Here you can write it as 6 hundredths or 0.06. Here you can write 11 hundredths, or you can write 0.11. Here 1 and 2 hundredths, or 1 and 1.02. Like that way you can write and complete the pattern. I think you can do it. So students, in the last one I told you in the last video that I will show you here. So here you see 17.8, 17.9, and it will not be 17.10. Okay students, because here we are doing what? 10th part, right? So similarly here also you see 2.98, so 98, okay, 2.99, here 98 hundredths, 99 hundredths, then 100 hundredths will become, so 100 hundred means what? 1. So that one will be considered as whole, so that number will be added here, so 2 will become 3. Okay, and next again it will go and so on, you have to write it. Okay, so in this way you can complete, or you can continue the pattern. Okay students, so you try to do this 9.2. I'm sure you can do it, and you can send me the pictures also, I will check it.